Who do you like at the top of that draft?
Well, I will say I think this is the last time the Pirates are going to be picking 1-1 for quite a long time, because I do believe the best years for the Pittsburgh fan base are in front of them. Guys, historically, I love the draft. It's probably my favorite thing in all of baseball. I think I love it because no one's ever going to figure it out. I think it's really hard to be able to actually not swing and miss all the time. So you got to be good and you got to nail your 1-1. Historically, for me, I've always go position players. So in this case, it would be Dylan Cruz because I think he's profiles a little bit more in center field than Langford does from Florida. But I think this year's an exception. I think you have to be open-minded enough to every single year to realize that though the history of the draft tells you one thing, and given years, it's something totally different. And I think I've never seen a pitcher like Paul Skenes for me at the amateur level in 35-plus years of looking at amateur players. I think he is a unicorn. He's extremely unique. His background is unique. And I think his style of pitching is somewhat unique. Though I know historically guys that throw this hard don't have a great track record for staying healthy. So you are gambling against the history of this type of player. But I think this year, I think it'd be a mistake to pass on somebody that I feel is like relatively close to pitching in the big leagues and a chance to be a true number one or number two in a rotation, certainly an impact guy. To go with the Kid Keller, I think it's exactly what the Pirates need to take the next step in their evolution to being a championship type team.
Man, that's music to my ears. I agree with all of that. I feel like they're never going to get a chance because they're not spending $400 million to pick up, Garrett Cole or somebody when his contract runs out, if it ever does. So this is their only chance at a generational arm. That's the way I feel, Dan. But
yeah, they had that with Garrett Cole, and they've had success there. I think the difference between Skenes and Cole is the following. Just really 2 years ago, this kid was for me, I saw him play in a regional at the University of Texas in Austin, and he started against the Longhorns game one. He was a dominant athlete. We were very fortunate to beat him. And the next 2 days, he caught. And he actually was a really good catcher. At 6'8", he was actually a very functional catcher with tremendous home runs. Prior to this, the kid really hadn't pitched much at all. So you're getting a kid that has no innings in his arm. So he's got a ton of tread on the tire. And he's just started pitching now, and he's dominant with that small amount of time. So that begins to give you an insight into his ability to retain and duplicate some of the things that he needed to do. I just feel this is a very unique talent, and I think it'd be a mistake to pass him up.